Alright, so after a massive hiccup, we're slowly getting back into this. We have grids set. Everyone will... There's sort of an advantage, I guess, for the people on soft tyres. People who qualified on the top 10 and people who did choose a soft tyre, who qualified outside top 10, just they'll have the fresh tyres, they'll last a bit longer. So this reset can definitely benefit the top 10 and the people who chose them a lot more.
Yeah.
But I'm
Well,
interested to see how the new guys are gonna fare in the race situation. As we saw, the highest placer out of the new drivers was obviously Risa, but then the newest driver out of TUF2, Baraka, he's sitting high in P6.
yeah.
And
Really
obviously
good race.
it looks from a outsider's perspective, it looks like AlphaTauri in a very good position at the moment, having a driver in Luca in first and Baraka in sixth. So it also looks very good for the Racing Point team as well, having Dobby in fifth and having Andy in eighth. So maybe not so good for the likes of Ferrari and Renault at the moment, but we never know what can happen. They can be a safety car and they can just shoot up the order.
And for Mercedes, there was the boogeyman who got that in disqualification. So
Yeah.
it's interesting to see if he can quickly make his way up to the field.
I think some people have changed their tyres.
Yeah, as I've read in the Discord, everyone outside of the top 10 should be able to.
I think there's more people running medium tyres now. There is F1atic, Bats, Santero, and then the bottom four. And only 3 people outside the top 10 are running softs now.
Yeah, and you see Thomas has opted for the soft tires instead of the mediums which he had.
I think it's definitely... I think just because it's reset and they're gonna have pretty much brand new tyres,
yeah,
I think it's gonna benefit the soft tyre runners a lot more.
Yeah, I think you're right with that one. And we might see Thomas take Fanatics at the start of the race and
yeah, so
few laps.
So just waiting for the lights. I think everyone is... Here we go, 3, 4, 5, waiting for the lights to go out, and away we go. That was quite quick. It is quite a slow getaway, but he is underway. We do see some chops and changes at the moment. Andy and Toma trading places. Let's hop on board with that as Toma sticks it running outside of Eden. There is a bit of contact, but he does get past. So the biggest winner out of that, I have to say, is Toma. Has to be Toma and Pricey at the moment.
Yeah. Pricey gaining another spot on Eden. And Young Breezy has made his way up. Oh, but he's falling back down right now. Back to P14, was up in 12.
So yeah, Young Breezy is all over the back of F1atic. Let's have a look at the telemetry. He is using his overtake. He is burning it a bit. He does look for the inside. He does get alongside. Outbreaks him, and it's quite a good overtake as Pricey gets it all wrong at Ascari. And he is overtaken by Schoen, and he's closely followed by Breezy. So what started off as a great start for Pricey, he's just that one corner like we talked about. We talked about Ascari. If you mess it up, it can really ruin your race. And look now, he's getting overtaken by F1atic as well.
Twice he goes
And
in.
he is coming into the pit, so maybe he had some wing damage. So it's not an ideal start at the moment for Bryce. He's down in last, but I'm not sure what's happened. Oh wait, the lobby's glitched. So yeah, Luca is in first, but it does say F1atic. Oh, there we go, it's fixed itself. But yeah, at the moment we do see a bit of a gap forming. At the moment we see showing 1.5 seconds behind Eden, so there is a bit of a gap forming in that midfield, but it all looks like it's going well at the moment for the first two corners. We haven't seen a safety car.
Interesting to see everyone on the soft tires has overtaken and all the medium tires except Pricey, who just came in.
So yeah, let's have a look at what tyre he is on. He's gone to the softs from here.
Right.
So maybe he's going for... He may do like a soft stint and then to mediums from here.
I think that might be a bit of a stretch.
But he can definitely stretch it. I think if you're good enough, you can definitely make the soft tyres or even the mediums last. Because I think from when he pitted on the end of lap 1, you're looking at taking the softs about 11 or 12 laps maybe, if you can stretch them far. So that'll take you to about 14 or 15, and 12 laps on mediums is definitely doable from there.
I think you're right. You made the right call with that one. But as for the mediums, the ones who started on the medium, it's interesting because they might have to do it all on strategy, as you see that they are all behind the soft tires.
Yeah, so there's no one really within striking distance of anyone at the moment, apart from right at the back with Santero being quite close to Boogeyman, but not close enough to make a move as of yet. He is 4 attempts back. So let's stick on board with Santero for a little bit, as he does get the entry to Parabolica a little bit wrong. But he does drop back to 7 attempts back. So yeah, I'd say we hop on board with Stiller now, as he's only 4 attempts behind Baraka and he is closing it. He's not using any overtake at the moment. But then, as I say that, Andy is right on the gearbox of Toma.
Yeah, I was looking at that as well.
But yeah, it's looking like some gaps are definitely forming at the moment. We're seeing 1 second gaps pop up everywhere. Let's just have a look at the gap to the leader already. Let's see. Risa's keeping it to about half a second to Luca, and then he's dropping Julian. He's 7 or 8 attempts behind Risa. Stinner does... I'm not sure what happened there to Stinner. It looked like it may have been a loss of traction at the exit of Ascari, but he does drop down 2 places behind Toma and Ice Cold Andy, as Andy does go for a move. He doesn't need any overtake, but he does use a little bit. He's just using it to keep ahead of Toma. Let's see who's the last of the late breakers, and it does look like it's Andy, but he does take it a little bit deep and opens the door for Toma to maybe do a little move, but he does stick ahead. We see Santero gets a 5-second penalty as he goes into the pit, so maybe he had some damage there. But we do see Stinner dive down. And Toma.
I think he made the right call there, because it could have ended in tears if he had dove into the first corner.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I'm not sure what's happened. We do see our first penalty for track limits going to Boseman, but Santero's got a 5-second penalty as well. Maybe that's for speeding in the pit lane, I'm not too sure. As we do see our second and third. Do see Breezy getting a 3-second penalty, and Toma as well.
Sandero did indeed speed in the pit lane.
So yeah, the penalties start coming in. And
which is very early.
Yeah, I'd say it's fairly early for the race like this, as we do see Stinner going around the outside of Andy and makes it look easy. He may have used some overtake there, as it's only lap 6 and he's only got 30% left.
This is closing in on Luca at the moment.
Yeah, let's hop on board with that. So, as you've been in TUF1, well, in the TUF Racing League since the season 1 of this game, you'll know about Risa. So, what type of racer is he?
Well, to be fair, I didn't really see him that much because I was way more at the bottom. But he is a fast qualifier as well as someone who, just in my opinion, can stick right behind someone. He has the capability to just keep driving behind someone, not losing any time, not making any mistakes, and just waiting for the moment for the other driver to make a small mistake and run over them. That's my vision on how Rita is driving his races, and he does it fairly well, as you can see right here.
Yeah, Luca does lock up, but it doesn't affect his corner that much, and he does get a really fast getaway. He doesn't look like he used any overtake there. And Reese is just tucking in behind him, getting that slipstream. He does poke out a little bit to make sure Luca still knows that he's there, and he's just keeping this gap. He's kept this gap for literally since lap 3 of about half a second.
Yeah, it's really consistent. And
so,
that's it's really harsh for the one driving before you, because at least when I have someone right up on my gearbox, I'm just getting stressed and I'm starting to make these small mistakes. Yeah. If you're a driver that can take action on my mistakes or the one before you, then you're a really dangerous driver.
We do see young Breezy make a move going into Ascari on Schoen, so that's a good move for him. He's already pulling away, he's already half a second ahead of Schoen, so that's a good little bit of overtaking there, as we do see one of the new drivers, Bats, overtaking F1atic, but F1atic does go down the inside. Bats is holding it round the outside along the curb, and I think it may be F1atic who does get the DRS, and he's just tucked in behind Bats, getting that slipstream and DRS. He isn't using any of his ERS, but Bats does outbrake him, and it does get very close contact. But it is clean driving from the two of them, and Bats came off the better driver there, as he is ahead, but F1atic is keeping the gap close. He is on the gearbox of Bats, but he does think better and not to go for the dive bomb there.
There was a DRS sound coming up, so I think
yeah, we do see on Luca is Risa is getting quite close. He does tuck in, he does show himself on the inside, just still letting Luca know that he's right behind him
as he goes wide.
But we do see Julian gets an excellent exit of Parabolica, but of course Julian's using none of his overtake, and it did look like Risa did use a little bit of it, so Julian's got a little bit of an advantage on the overtake.
Yeah, he's using it a bit better, he's thinking a bit better on what time to use it. And he's using the toes, which are really effectful at Monza.
We do see F1atic re-overtake Bats there, and F1atic did get a much better exit out of the chicane, but I have faith in Bats that this is very much a battle of two very similar pace drivers.
Yep.
But maybe in the next lap or two we will see the first pit stops other than Pricey and Santero, of course. But yeah, the top four are really sticking close together. They're really sticking close. As we look at interval to the leaders, it's only really Hamres maybe dropping back a little bit as all of them come in. All four of them come in at the moment, so it's interesting to see if they go to the hards or the mediums. It looks like Hamres is going to the mediums.
Luca is going to the mediums as well.
I think all of them are going to mediums.
But I think they might try to finish the race on them. Which
we saw
might be possible.
We saw laps. Julian jump Risa in the pit stops. As there is a safety car, I'm not sure what's happened here. It looks like Pricey DNF'd. We did miss it because we were looking at the pit stops, but I'm pretty sure it was at the exit of Ascari.
No, doesn't show. It just shows unrepairable damage. So yeah. Ferrari is not looking great at the moment.
Oh yeah, they're not.
They both have time penalties, so they really need to pick it up. It's like a real Ferrari at the moment.
Yeah, so we just look at Dobby is in the lead at the moment, be it is only on track. We do see Dobby come in, we see Baraka follow him. I don't think Andy will come in. He does.
Ooh, I think there's enough space between them.
He will get held up a little bit. Everyone else behind is coming in. Oh. But Bats is the only person who stays out.
I think Andy...
so,
Andy
for all of you Bats fans in the chat, your saviour is first. Bats is currently sitting in P1.
Can we get some screaming in the chat?
Let's get some bat spam in the chat. But yeah, I'm really interested to see how Bats will take this restart, as it is his first race in TUF1. He has been in this situation before, of course in TUF2, but maybe there's a little more added pressure.
Well, do you think Luca will have a starter's plan at this moment? Because that might be a bit of a positive effect that has as well. He has this warmer tires, which might help him with a quick escape.
So we're seeing no soft runners at the moment.
No.
And maybe Bats and Dreamsy are the only people not to have pitted.
What would you do in this situation? I think it's too late for Bats, but...
It's too late for Bats to come in, but I would say, seeing as though the softs, I'd say they'd go around... Bats could save these until, say... Oh, he does come in.
Oh.
So he's confined himself to the back of the grid, which... Actually, he won't be at the back. He will be ahead of Santero, who I'm not sure, he's going quite slow here. He is going up to Ascari at the moment, but
Boseman has just come in.
Boseman has come in as well.
But I don't know why,
He's
because
serving. I think he's serving a drive-through.
No, but he came in on fresh hearts, and he comes out of first medium.
So maybe he must have had the wrong tire on. Maybe he meant to have the mediums.
Yeah.
But Bats comes out on the softs.
Oh, then he must make a two-stop. He cannot finish this on the softs.
Yeah. He did start the race on the softs, didn't he?
Ooh.
Or maybe he started on... No, he started on the mediums. He started the race on the mediums.
Yeah.
So maybe he's just going to try and stretch the softs all the way. Which is very risky from this point, as you'll have about 14, 15 laps. There's a safety car should be coming in.
I don't know if Bats is, but we'll see at the end of the race. It's going to be an interesting last few laps for him.
Yeah, I think the safety car, I don't think it's coming in this lap. Or maybe it is.
The lights are off.
So he's just going to slow down the back all the way around. We do see Julian is sticking very, very close.
As Dobby has overspeed on Julian, I think. Not taking the toe.
But Risa is just charging through.
Wow.
There is a bit of contact. There's a slight bit of contact. But yeah, Dobby did very well in the pit stops to actually come out of the pits in third. We didn't actually catch that, but yeah, he came out third. But as we do get underway, there are penalties about. We do see Boseman overtake Bats, so we see Schoen. And Bats, I think Bats is...
Hammers. You think
I'm not sure what happened to Bats there, but he was sitting pretty in 16th, and then all of a sudden he just dropped down to 19th. I'm not sure if there was a little bit of a... if he lost his rear end a little bit, or... I'm not too sure what happened there.
There's nothing wrong with his front plate.
Oh,
might have. He's getting really close. But it's interesting because Hamres, he was in P4 prior to the safety car, and he has lost 2 places.
yeah, I think maybe the pit stops. Yeah, maybe he just got very unlucky with the pit stops.
I think he might have, because the L4 came in at the same time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
busy pit lane can really bring some harm if you're unlucky.
yeah, just on board with Baraka now. He is on the gearbox of Dobby. He does have to slow down a little bit so there isn't a crash, but Hamres behind Baraka does have a penalty, and Julian gets a penalty as well. So this really opens up the door for Risa to get a top 2 finish.
It does.
As like you said before, Risa is a very consistent driver, and he will stick with you all through the race.
Yep. And he has the potential to drive flawless as well. But to say, Luca and Risa both not having a penalty at this moment, so...
Yeah, I think think the interval times were a little bit broken there, as it says Quick Nick was 0.03 seconds behind Young Breezy.
Yeah, so as Andy misses the first chicane.
Oh, Breezy.
Close to Eden.
Oh. We do see they are side by side. Andy is on the hard tyres, so he will comfortably get to the end. He does overtake Eden, who is on the medium, so...
And Thomas is right behind him.
Yeah, I think this is very, very good running for Toma at the moment, being in 10th. And he is on the mediums, but we do see the penalties start racking up for everyone.
Yeah, well, Toma only has 3 seconds, but just like Eden, but Andy has 8.
I think he may... Oh, Toma did get on the curb a little bit and unsettle his car, but yeah, going back to Andy, he may have a 5-second penalty that he has to go in for, but I think that if he doesn't do that, then he'll get penalty for unserved penalties. Right,
I think it's a disqualification, right?
Yeah, I think it is. Oh, Andy does get on the power a bit too hard, and his car squirms a little bit.
Well, Betts is already in 4th place at the moment. He's racing.
Yeah, he is.
And
he
as
is
as I see in the chat, Betts is the GOAT in tire wear.
Yeah.
So that's true. It might be just a points finish for him, as he has 3 races left in front of him.
I've been in races with Bats where he's done some crazy things with his softs, like on his tyres. I'm pretty sure I've seen him make soft tyres last about 15-16 laps before, so it is a big possibility that he could make these last until the end, but he is pushing it with how early he did pit onto the softs.
Yeah.
As we see Young Breezy currently leading in the most time penalties. He's got 12 seconds at the moment, which may not be something that you look to be leading in, but I mean, we can see some people just have some people may have an aggressive driving style which puts them at the limits, and of course the only person who's really close is Andy on 8 seconds.
Yeah. Well, and I think the thing is, it's all a clever game to not take too many penalties, but on the other side, if you see all those cars before you, and you think you can pass them, and you think you are quicker, you're willing to take some risks, but yeah, at the end it will serve in some more penalties. So it's really the challenge in your head between penalties and track position.
That's a great overtake. I did miss part of it, but I did catch the end part of Bats overtaking Breezy, and he's up to P13. Realistically, he could jump 2 or 3 people here, because you have Boseman ahead of you with 6 seconds, you have Toma ahead of you with 6 seconds, and you have Andy with 8. So he could end up being 10th here. If it all stays as it is, if the race were to end right now, he would be in 10th.
Yeah. It's crazy. If he keeps the tires as they are, or then doesn't blow them out.
If he can... If he can keep these tyres in check and just conserve them a lot, he can definitely...
D7?
Yeah.
Right. It could be possible.
Yeah, it could definitely be possible for him. So let's hop So just looking at the tyre wear at the moment, everyone is on about 6-7 laps of tyres at the moment. Maybe in about 5 laps time, your batsman might start feeling the tyres go off a little bit. But yeah, I really feel like, just looking at everyone else, we see Andy being the highest hard tyre runner. As I say that, Toma does go down the outside, he does brake late, he is ahead of him just about, and he pushes himself up to P8 now, so it's a very good, very solid race for Toma at the moment. And we do see another new driver in Baraka in P4 at the moment. He is 1.8 seconds behind Luca, which he is within that second mark of Risa.
If he just finds a little bit more pace, it might be a two-car podium finish for AlphaTauri.
Yeah, definitely. Like, we only have 4 drivers in this race who haven't, or made that 3 drivers in this race who haven't accumulated any penalties, which is Luca, Dobby and Santero. So you see Santero does overtake his teammate in Breezy, so maybe there's some team orders there. Maybe there's some team orders coming into play there. Santero is saying, look, I am the faster driver, so let me through. As you do see shown as well,
yeah,
the Ferrari B team. He does overtake Breezy, so maybe Breezy is using his overtake. He does have nearly 80%, which is quite surprising. Being 20 laps in, as shown, does squeeze him to the inside, forces a tighter line, and that's great defending. Great defending there from Showen, just forcing Breezy to take the inside, take the tighter line, compromise his line into the first corner. But we do see Breezy. Maybe he's going to push the squeeze on Showen there, but Showen is braking later there, and he does ultimately keep the position.
That's some good racing, good defending.
Yeah, especially from Showen, it's great racing. Yeah. But we do see Bats, he is up into he's up into P12. He's really putting himself up there on these softs.
Oh, Reza has been overtaken by Baraka.
Oh, they are side by side. Oh. But Risa will have the DRS, so but he has no overtake.
Oh wait, sorry for Julian before.
Yeah, Risa has no overtake.
0%.
He does. Oh, a bit of contact there, but he does get the space back. But Baraka, he's on the attack again.
Wow.
See, his pace and his raw racing ability is what is putting him up, and he's showing that he is one of the contenders. He could definitely keep up with Julian and Luca, and then looking at Risa as well. He's someone who can stick up there as well.
Yeah, just made a few tiny mistakes, as he also has a penalty on this night at the moment. But I think he can come back. Oh, made a little slip up right there. But at the moment there are 2 drivers, only Dobby and Luca, who is leading the race, which don't have a penalty behind their name. And this puts Dobby around Reese's time, which is 4th or 5th place.
But we do see sorry to cut you off there, but the fastest lap is currently being held by Pricey, who isn't even in the race anymore.
Wow.
He's got a 1:21.2. So maybe it's a tactic from him. get the fastest lap and then take it away from the likes of Luca and Julian.
He's going to finish the season with most fastest laps. Well, that should be a strange tactic.
But just looking at the gaps from Luca to Risa is only 1.3 seconds.
Yeah.
But Baraka does lock up going into the first part of Ascari, which does compromise his line, and Risa is on the back of him. He's side by side. Let's see who the latest breaker is here, and I think it's going to be Baraka. And it is. So Risa has saved up his ERS. He is down to 10%. He's going to be running out of ERS, going down this straight. As they are side by side, there is a bit of contact there, but Baraka again, he does outbrake Risa there. He's just so confident. He's so confident under braking that it doesn't phase him. He just concentrates on his own race, makes sure there's no contact, and he just gets it done. But looking further down the field, we did see Schoen overtake Santera going down the main straight, which obviously it's not full of point paying positions, but it can definitely, but it's definitely a good overtake to make, just making your presence known.
Which means Schoen has already overtaken Santero as well.
Yeah.
Yes. Been following up Fanatics. But Bats Plus has just gone still at 12th place, being 3 seconds behind Eden.
Yeah, it's 3 seconds behind Eden and then 4 seconds between himself and F1 so he's in a half sandwich there.
Yeah, and I think this might be the point where he is starting to see his lap times decrease. But
he has done really well.
Yeah, he has a comfortable lead on Fanatics. And looking at penalty times, it should be 8th place for him, or sorry, 10th or 9th place for him, if I'm right.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a good showing for your first race. Yeah. Maybe even 8th, because looking at Andy, he does have 8 seconds, and Boseman has 9, so it may even be as high as 8th or 9th.
Well,
I think if it were to finish as it is, Eden would be 8th, and Bats would be 9th.
Yeah, you're right.
And just looking a bit further up.
Oh! Andy goes off. Andy goes off right after the second chicane.
Yeah, we see F1 Attic has had a crash. I think it was out of Ascari. He was facing the wrong way on the track, but he is going. He may not have a front wing, so he may have to pit.
Yeah, he still has his front wing. He still has his front wing.
Maybe it's only slight damage, but he's done well. But Young Breezy has left the session. He did have 15 seconds of penalties. Julian. I'm not sure what happened to Julian there. I'm really not sure.
I don't know.
He did lose his rear right tyre. But we are currently seeing a 1-2 for AlphaTauri.
Yeah, that's a great start of the season.
But I'm not sure what happened to Julian there.
It was right at the two fast right-handers, right? Where he got out.
Yeah,
well,
Dobby at the moment, he's sitting in a fantastic position because all of the drivers around him have penalties, and he's only 3 seconds behind Hamres. He could get a podium here.
Third place right here. Yeah.
If it stays as it is, he could get on the podium.
Well, that's what clean racing gives you.
Yeah, 100%. But I think the main story is obviously Baraka. It's just,
yeah.
He's Reese. What's happened to Baraka here? He was overtaken.
I think he had a bad exit of his corner.
But I think he can just sit behind him. He can just sit behind Reese and it'll still be a 1-2.
He doesn't have to take any risks.
He just need to stick it behind him. I'm not sure how many warnings he has. I don't know. But of course, being a racer, you have to go for that overtake there. We don't see anyone who's particularly close, apart from Stinner, who did overtake Dobby. So, just looking back at the tyres, Dobby is on the same amount of tyre wear.
Well, and Baraka has two warnings, so he has to finish the race clean.
But then Risa is still on his gearbox.
Yep.
He's still just... It looks like Baraka's just holding him up a little bit.
Yep.
But I do think Risa will get past him here. Baraka just puts his car right in the middle of the track like a mobile chicane. and Risa, he does stick it in. He does stick it in at Ascari, and he's just pushing and pushing.
There goes Stinner. He goes wide and he falls off to the left. That's his race over.
He looked so well. He did so well to get into the position he is in, but I'm not quite sure that Dobby will get a podium.
Oh, so close.
0.4 seconds, but Bats. Let's see where Bats finishes. Andy has 11 seconds. He jumps to 7th.
Wow.
It's a great race.
We got some interesting newcomers here. They all finished in the points. One came second. As AlphaTauri takes a massive lead in the championship.
Let's just see who did get the fastest lap. Fastest lap was still held by Pricey. But yeah, that does it for this first round. Some very interesting racing going on here. We did see some surprising moves. Yeah. We did see some... Of course, we have to talk about the domination, first and second step of the grid for AlphaTauri. This is just... I said it when we revealed the track lineups, the tracks and the lineups, that this was the lineup to look out for, and they've shown it. They've stepped up.
Yeah, you're right. And I think it's really a deserved win. I think the winner is my driver of the day as well. Because Luca, if you're this constant and driving a flawless race, then yeah, I can't really say anyone else. But I'm really surprised by Baraka's prestation.
Yeah, if I had to choose a driver of the day, I'd have to say it's Bats, honestly.
Yeah.
Just from at one stage, I think he was down in 17th, 16th, 17th, but He definitely just pushed it. He pushed it to the limits. He stayed in there. He was down in 12th or 11th, and then his racing. He only had 3 seconds of penalties, and that's what put him up to P7.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
definitely looking at Boastman as well. He started 17th and he finished 8th.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I think this is us done for this race. And it's been a pleasure commentating this with you, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully
really
we
nice.
get this. Hopefully we get this opportunity to commentate again this season.
Yeah. I'll be there if I have time, and I really enjoyed it.
But yeah, for this first round in the TUF1 Season 4, this is us done. So we will see you next. We'll see you on Wednesday for the TUF2 race.
Alright.